She's important to my family, he said coolly, which makes her important to me somehow. It's been 3 weeks since I first walked into Winter's High. 3 long, strange weeks that somehow felt like a lifetime. I'd gotten used to the rhythm of the place. The shuffle of sneakers on marble floors, the chatter that filled the hallways, the smell of books and coffee that clung to the library air. But some things hadn't changed. Amber's hatred still burned, quiet, but sharp. Lee's silence still cut deeper than words. And Chloe's voice, she was still there. Always there. Then there was Kelly. We'd grown closer over time. She was easy to talk to, kind, a little quirky, always curious about the smallest things. And Leo, always the sweetest brother I'd ever wished for. 3 weeks, and you still flinch when they look at you, Chloe teased in my head, as I flipped through a book in the library. You fought monsters in the ring, Addy. Why are a few spoiled kids still your weakness? I sighed softly, pretending to focus on the pages. Because here, I murmured, I can't punch my way through things. Maybe you should, Chloe whispered darkly. I ignored her. Kelly sat across from me, tapping a pen against her notebook. She'd become my anchor in this chaos. Funny, loud, too curious sometimes, but good-hearted. She made the days lighter. Hey, she said suddenly, snapping me out of it. You're zoning out again. I smiled faintly. Just thinking. About what? Nothing important. I lied. Kelly shrugged. Well, think about this instead. Mr. Brown said something about a tour next week. You better not ditch like last time. I chuckled softly. We'll see. Oh yeah, she said, gathering our stuff as we headed to art class. The hallway buzzed, laughter, lockers slamming, footsteps echoing off the walls. For once, it almost felt normal. Until it didn't. The moment we stepped into art class, Amber and her 2 shadows, Steffi and Jessica, were there, leaning against a table like they owned the world. Her smirk found me instantly. Well, well, Amber began, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. Look who decided to crawl out of her hole again. The Zachary's charity case. Kelly's tone hardened. Back off, Amber. Amber chuckled. Relax, Kelly. I was just saying hi to your little friend. She should be grateful someone even notices her. I took a breath. You really need new hobbies, I said evenly. Following me around can't be that entertaining. Her smile faltered, just for a second, before twisting cruel again. Hobbies? Oh, I have plenty. But watching you pretend to fit in, that's my favorite. Chloe stirred, restless. Say the word, Addy. Not now, I whispered in my head. Did you just talk to yourself? Amber sneered. You're even weirder than I thought. Before I could respond, a familiar voice cut through the noise. Amber. Everyone turned. Lee stood a few feet away, unreadable. His presence was sharp, steady. Amber straightened. Lee, hey, we were just harassing my sister, he interrupted flatly. You might want to find something better to do with your time. Amber blinked. She's not. She's important to my family, he said coolly, which makes her important to me somehow. The room froze. Even Kelly looked stunned. I couldn't move. Lee's gaze flicked to me. Something soft, almost regretful, in his eyes. Then he turned and walked away. Amber stood there, speechless as whispers spread. For once she had no comeback. Chloe's voice purred in my mind. Well, that was unexpected. Honestly, I breathe. It was... He's protecting you now. How convenient, Chloe teased. He's confusing, I admitted quietly. Or maybe, Chloe hummed. He's finally realizing what we are to him. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The truth was, it wasn't the first time. He'd done this before, stepping in, then walking away before I could say anything. I kept wondering, did he still hate me, like he said he did? Or was something else shifting between us? He was just confusing. Amber's face twisted, angry and small under all those stares. She turned and stormed off, her shadows trailing behind her. "Did Lee just defend you?" Kelly asked, breaking the silence. "I'm just as surprised as you are," I said, heading for a seat. The rest of the day moved in fragments. Laughter with Kelly, glances at Lee across the hall. Every time I tried to catch his eye, he looked away. But somehow, I knew he saw me. By lunch, we sat at our usual table. Me, Leo, Kelly, JJ, Lee, always busy with his phone, and Danny, who never seemed to run out of energy. The smell of fries and soda filled the air. "Okay, people, listen up," Danny announced, banging his spoon against his juice cup. "This weekend, I'm throwing a party at my place. Big one. No excuses, you're all coming." Leo groaned. "Dude, last time your party ended with someone passed out in the pool." "Exactly," Danny said proudly. "That's the point." Kelly clapped her hands. "I'm in." Leo glanced at me with a smirk. "Addy's coming too. No backing out this time." I smiled faintly. I didn't say I wasn't. Kelly leaned closer, whispering, "See, we're dragging you even if you resist." I laughed quietly, and for a moment it felt easy again, like maybe, just maybe, I belonged. Starting life here in Winters, I wasn't as bad as I thought. We kept chatting and joking, laughter spilling across the table. For a moment I felt normal. The jokes continued until lunch ended. The conversations tumbling over each other. Teases, laughter, lighthearted plans. By the time the bell rang, the group was buzzing with anticipation. The rest of the day passed in a blur of classes, and for the first time since joining Winters High, I didn't want it to end. Maybe it was because Amber was nowhere to be seen after the incident between her and Lee, or maybe it was because he stood up for me for the first time. The thought lingered in my mind, making me chuckle more often whenever Amber's disappointed face flashed before me. But Chloe's voice hummed faintly in my mind every so often, like a restless drumbeat. By evening, we were back home. Our parents were still out attending to their businesses. After a warm swim in the pool, I collapsed on my bed. The need to view nature crawled under my skin as the sun began to fade into gold. I needed space. I found myself walking through the Zachary's garden, an ocean of flowers glowing softly under the twilight. The air was cool, the kind that smelled like earth, petals, and rain even when the sky was clear. I let my fingers trail along the rose bushes, feeling the soft brush of petals against my skin. For once, everything felt still. For once, Chloe was quiet. I crouched to touch one of the blossoms when something moved beside me. My breath hitched. Hidden between the bushes was a small puppy. Its fur dirty, its breathing shallow. "Oh no," I whispered, reaching out. Its little body trembled in my hands. Hey, you're okay." But it wasn't. Its heartbeat was fading. "Chloe," I whispered, voice cracking. "Addy, don't. She's dying." "Then let her go." "I can't." The puppy went still, its tiny chest no longer moving. A lump rose in my throat. I had only known it for seconds, but the loss felt sharp. I looked around, the windows above, the empty lawn. No one was watching, or so I thought. My palm glowed faintly as I pressed it over the puppy's heart. A surge of energy rippled through me, dark and electric. Chloe's power, my power. Light flickered, and a second later, the puppy gasped, alive again. It stumbled up weakly, licking my fingers as I laughed through tears. You're okay, little one." The joy in my chest was warm, full real. But when I looked up, my heart froze. At the window upstairs, Lee stood watching, his face shadowed, his expression impossible to read. For a heartbeat, neither of us moved. Then the curtain fell back into place. He was gone. Chloe whispered he saw us. I pressed my trembling hands to my chest. No, he couldn't have. Addy. Her tone turned sharp. He saw. My pulse quickened. Then what do we do? We wait. After a few more steps around the garden with my new little puppy friend, I returned to the house. Mom and Dad were already back, and here we were, as always, sitting around the dining table having a warm family dinner. Across from me was Lee. I caught him stealing glances at me a few times, but each time my eyes caught his, he looked away like a flash. After dinner, I sat to watch a movie with Mom and Leo. The movie was interesting, sparking small talks and playful arguments. I found myself laughing more often. The movie got intense, and I felt like getting a drink. Mom, would you like some lemonade? I asked, unwrapping the blanket from my legs. Sure, sweetie. Get some for me. How about you, Leo? Nah, I'll need more popcorn instead, he said, lifting his empty cup without taking his eyes off the TV. All right, I'll be back, I replied, walking toward the kitchen, only to bump into Lee grabbing water from the freezer. I hesitated before walking in. Hey, I said softly, about earlier at school today. I never got to say thank you. He turned around, his eyes cool and unreadable. For what? For standing up for me with Amber. He wiped his hands with a towel, not meeting my gaze. You don't need to thank me for that. I just didn't want more drama. His voice was calm, detached, but something in his tone made my chest ache. So that's all it was? Just avoiding drama. I asked quietly. He looked at me then, eyes dark and guarded. What else would it be? His words cut deeper than I wanted to admit. And just like that, he walked away, leaving me standing there, hollow and confused. Chloe's voice drifted through me, almost soft. He's lying. Maybe, I whispered. Or maybe he's just trying not to care. Then make him. I didn't answer. I couldn't, because somewhere deep inside, part of me didn't know which scared me more, Lee finding out what I really was, or him not caring at all. After the movie, I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. The world outside was silent, but my mind was a storm. Between secrets and shadows, between Chloe's darkness and the fragile light of this new life. I didn't know which side was winning anymore. Maybe I never did. To be continued. Why did Lee really defend Addison? Was it just to avoid drama? Or was there something deeper he couldn't admit? And did he truly see what happened in the garden? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. This story's only getting darker, and Addison's shadow is only beginning to awaken.